thoughts on Michael Bennett's situation, what he had to go through?
I mean, it's unfortunate. Obviously, happy that he made it out. Day in the life, though. I'm sure, as he said, something that he's been through before, I'm sure, and hopefully he doesn't have to go through again. But it's no amount of money, no amount of fame, no amount of notoriety that could keep you from things like that happening to you. So just an unfortunate part of life. I'm just thankful he made it out.
Did you experience anything like that personally?
Yeah. I mean, I've experienced that. I've been hemmed up, countless times when I was younger. You live in the inner city. That's just how it goes. They're trying to patrol the city. They're trying to keep the city safe. So, you know, a black between the sizes of 6'4" and 5'3", and they're going to get you. But, thankfully I made it out alive. He made it out alive, and we moved past it.
Sure, from your experience, when a player suffers an injustice or a tough situation, how has this locker room responded?
With support. We've always supported our players and supported our guys, and that's all you can do is support, because Mike is literally sitting, taking a stand, protesting, doing everything he can to combat the exact thing that he experienced. And people are so worried about him sitting down during the national anthem that they completely miss that message a lot of times. They want to be more angry at the action than the message. And that's an unfortunate part of the world we live in nowadays. I wish that people would take it for what it is and make a difference and go out there and try to combat against racism, fascism, unnecessary violence. A guy being discriminated against, he was doing nothing wrong. I mean, you can't go outside, you can't be out, you can't do this, what can you do? So hopefully people will start to do the necessary things that it takes to make a change.
Do you think more teammates might join him in the protest because of this incident?
I'm not sure. Potentially. But, guys are trying to make a difference in other ways. And I think guys will do more to press their initiatives and press their foundations and donate money and try their best to make a difference in other ways, because it's starting to become apparent that kneeling, what Colin did, obviously didn't have much of an impact on what's going on in society, and Mike's sitting and trying to make a difference, and they're passing judgment and criticizing his actions instead of trying to make a difference and trying to do things to change it. So we're just going to continue to look for steps and look for things that we can do to try to change society and give people more equality.
Richard, when did you
go about doing that?
Say that one more time.
What is the best way to go about doing that?
I wish I knew. If I knew it, I'd be doing it. I'd be doing more. Giving money to different causes, and that's everything. That's giving more money to the police department so that they can have more people. They can better educate their officers. Giving money to the people who've dealt with this violence, who've lost sons and fathers and mothers to this violence, and try to help them. But I have no idea, honestly. If I knew, I promise you I'd be doing as much of that as I could.
You initially, I think, disagreed with Colin when he first took the seat. Given everything that's happened a year later, do you have any different thoughts on that?
I didn't disagree with him. I disagreed with the action, not the message.
I guess the action, have your thoughts changed on the action?
No, it hasn't. But mostly because of this reason. For this reason, and it's because people aren't even getting the point. He's going out there and making a stand, and people are, you might as well just be saying blah, 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 because people are just seeing you kneel during the national anthem, and they're taking that and closing their ears. And that's unfortunate. People see the action and then close their ears. The rest is ignorance to them. And I wish that would change. I think his intent was pure. His heart was pure. He was trying to do the right thing. But in our society, you got to find the right way to do the right thing so people don't close their ears. And that's what we're trying to do.
What effect has Mike's incident had on the locker room?
Honestly, a lot of guys have dealt with this throughout their lives, so we're just happy that he's alive. It's obviously brought awareness to the outside world, but for us, it's something that a lot of these guys have dealt with, throughout most of their lives. Just going out in everyday society. It's going to happen to you at least once or twice in your life, and maybe more. you just got to respond to it the right way and try to stay calm and try to do everything they tell you to do, and hopefully they do the right thing. And thankfully Mike did, and they did the right thing and allowed him to walk away. But
at the risk of prying into something very personal for you, when was the last time something like that happened to you?
last time, college, out in Palo Alto. The east side of Palo Alto is much different than the other side of Palo Alto, and happened to be over there, actually going to get some Jamaican food because they got good Jamaican food over there, and just got hemmed up, wrong place, wrong time. That I think there was a shooting not too far from where we were, and looked like the suspect, had dreadlocks, around I guess my build, but they let me go. We had another incident where some neighbors, we were actually, they called us anytime they needed help moving stuff at Stanford. Some of the donors, very affluent and wealthy people, if they needed to help moving a big dresser or something, we needed money in our pockets. We couldn't get jobs. NCAA, you can't do anything. But they give us $50 or so. So we went over there. So I got there first, and it's a neighborhood I'd never been to before, and the house was the driveway was really long. So I'm kind of looking around, kind of driving slowly through the neighborhood, and I finally found it, and I drove into the neighborhood. And, knock on the door, I introduce myself, meet the guy. We're sitting there waiting for my teammates, and we come outside to a hard knock, and it's the police out the door. And, guns drawn, and luckily he comes first. He came to the door first because, who knows what happens. And he's like, what's going on? And they're like, hands up, get out. And is there anybody else in the house? And I'm right behind him, so I come out, hands up, I've done nothing wrong, but apparently the neighbors called the police because I looked suspicious, and they didn't think they thought I was robbing the place. So they came with 9 police cars, dogs, everything. The guy that owned the place was like apologizing, but he didn't do anything wrong.
Is it any harder to concentrate on football at all with all this stuff kind of going on these days? Or?
I mean, like I said, it's gone on your whole life. I mean, it's something we've always dealt with. I think it's becoming more prevalent to the public, and people are starting to see it more, with all these camera phones and Mike bringing it to light, and people are starting to see more and more of it. So I guess it's something that's always been there, though.
And on Colin, how are you surprised by this point that he's not signed or that he's still out there, or are you?
Yeah, I think I've expressed that countless times that I'm surprised, and I had a little exchange with Albert Breer, who's a good friend. He's a great guy. Earlier, because he had written an article, nameless, faceless execs of, nameless, faceless teams talking about, I didn't like him coming out of college. I didn't like him. And it's like, wow, so you're such a bad exec that you're judging a kid off of college tape when the kid's been to Super Bowls and won NFC championships and been to multiple NFC championships, and you're still talking about his college tape. So I think that's the part where I don't get it. You got guys who are so quick to judge and critique, it's not because of the anthem, it's because he can't play. But, Mark Sanchez played in Chip's system and then got a job after. They're like, who else can play in that system? Well, he was just in that system and then played in another system and got a job. I think they're looking for excuses to keep him out of the league, and they're finding them. You look for excuses, you can find them. There was a great saying about excuses are like something on your body. Everybody has one.
How did you find out, Richard? Was it just today, or did Mike share?
No, Mike shared it with us when it happened. I think it happened a week ago or so. And he was just looking for a way to thinking about what he should do in this situation, because nowadays, regardless of if you're in the wrong or you're right, you're judged. And he asked myself and he asked Doug what he should do in a situation, and we gave our advice, and he did as he did.
And by keeping it away from publication until now, today, was that part of you guys' recommendation to see how it played out?
I think he talked to a lot of people, but we had our talks with him about how he should word it and how he should approach the situation, because even when you're the victim, you're still criticized as if you're not. They're like, what was he doing to get arrested by police? It's like, well, minding his own business. Well, why was he minding his business by police? It's like, okay. Well, I guess I don't know, So you always got to try to give him devil's advocate perspective, and I think he took all perspectives into account with everything he did.
Do you think society will get to a point where incidents like this aren't commonplace?
I pray that it does. I pray that society gets to a place where this is a rarity. This is obscene. This is outrageous, and the entire world is outraged by it. I think there are some people that are outraged at it. You know, there are a number of people that are shaking their heads, but a lot of people are quietly outraged by it. They're silently outraged by it. They're, just shake their head. Not a lot of people are actually doing things that people would do as if it happened to you. You know, if it happened to them, there's a lot of actions they would take. But if it didn't happen to them, a lot of people just shake their head, and that's what's unfortunate. You know, a lot of people are silent about the things that go on in society. You know, people walk around with Nazi flags and people shake their head, but they silently do it. You know, nobody combats it. And the people that do, they're frowned upon. You don't do anything. There are many ways to destroy violence and racism and fascism and bigotry, and I don't think silence is one of them.
Do you think that this is going to happen in your lifetime?
I pray it does. But I'm sure all good people hope for this. I hope that my kids don't have to deal with it, but I will make them aware of it.
Mike mentioned victims of police shootings that haven't had the opportunity to then come speak afterwards. And how important was it?
Say that one more time.
Mike mentioned victims of other police shootings who were killed and then weren't able to speak, and incidents with police, I should say. How important was it for Mike to come up and acknowledge what happened, say what happened, tell the whole world about it?
I think it was incredibly important because I think there's a sentiment that goes around that it doesn't happen. You know, you're rich, you're wealthy, you're famous, you have notoriety. There's no way it happens to you, and it does, and it's I guess it's nobody's fault. It's poor training for some. Every individual is different because I've met great officers. You know, you meet, you have good conversations with. You know, I've gotten tickets and walked away with a smile. You know, it's like, that's a great guy. It sucks that I got a ticket, but and then you have incidents where you run into people that you keep your wits about you. You know, you keep everything. You keep your hands visible. Certain people. I don't know if it's bad training or if it's something that went on in their childhood or what it is, but. Every situation's different. Every individual is different. But something needs to change.
Can you ask one football question?
That'd be great.
And this may be an obvious point, but going back to Green Bay, you haven't had your full secondary the last two times you got in there. Cam wasn't there 2 years ago, Earl last year. How big of a difference can that make, especially with a guy like Aaron Rodgers? Does he really try to find that guy?
I guess we will see. We will see. We've usually done well when we've had everybody. We've never won in Lambeau with our group because we're always missing somebody. But I think we have all the pieces in place to go out there and give them a great fight, and I look forward to it. I think we're gonna have an exciting game, and excited to play the chess match with Aaron. He's always a fun opponent and a great guy to play against, and plays the game the right way. And he has some weapons in Cobb and Jordy and Devontae Adams, and the way they're using Ty Montgomery, you're going to have to – and then you can't forget about Martellus, obviously Mike's brother. So it's going to be a great chess match that I'm looking forward to.
What do you see from Shaquille in terms of his readiness to step in?
He's poised. He studies the game the right way. He actually came up to me today in meetings, and it was a point that I had already got, because we play Green Bay, it feels like every year. But he came up to me with like a tip, and I thought it was hilarious. He was like, "Yeah, when the tight end's right here and the receiver's right here," I was like, "Okay, go ahead, give it to me." But I think it just is a testament to his maturity and how he approaches the game, and he prepares. He prepares like a starter. He prepares like a veteran, and he's getting tips that we found, but I don't know if I would have found it my rookie year, and that's awesome.
Pete's talked a lot about Jeremy Lane and just sort of how he's seen a difference in him this year, maturity and growth. What have you seen from Jeremy?
Oh, Jay Lane came in locked in. He's incredibly locked in. He's dedicated. You come in on off days, you see him in the VMAC, which is our indoor facility, grinding it out, getting his footwork right. You see him watching extra film in the weight room, getting extra work. He's locked in. He's ready to go. I think he's looking forward to a great year this year and to put some great things on tape.
For these Packers games, do you go into expecting that Rodgers is going to avoid you? How do
No, I go in with the opposite. I think, this is the time he's going to throw at me every play. And we'll see what happens because I think this is the one.
Going back to Shaquille, he seems to really have a profound respect for the game and him being here. I talked to him yesterday. He talked about he carries your helmet and he has a lot of respect for you. Can you profound on that?
Yeah, I mean, if you could create a rookie and give him everything, and I'm probably giving him way too much credit this year. You don't never give rookies credit. Never mind. He does a good job. He's a good rook, man. He's a good rook, and he does what is asked of him and more. He doesn't fight. He doesn't argue with you. With most rooks, you got to sit there and be like, man, take my helmet. I did this. Everybody has to do this. It's just part of it. You argue with them for weeks. With him, he's like, here, give me your helmet. It's like, wait, no argument, no nothing. Hey, go get me some sunflower seeds. Okay, wait. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, about that. And the way he approaches the game, I mean, he's just poised out there. They catch a ball on him. He's not turning around, his eyes wide, shocked, confused, frustrated. He just turns around next play, bang, goes out there and steps and kicks and gets back to technique. And that's pretty much all you can ask for a rookie. I mean, I've not seen very many rookies in my time in the league that poised.
Pizza at the Minnesota game was a pretty good example of that.
Yes, it was because they went at him. They went at him over and over and over like a vet team would. And he just stood up. When I went over there, because they had threw something, crease route or something, and he was like, "Yep, I'm good." That's the way vets take it.
You guys have never lost a game by the margin of 38-10 as you did last year in Lambeau. What's that worth this time around as far as?
Well, I don't think they start with a 38-point lead in the next game, so I don't think it's worth much. A different game, different team. They're different. They got different players playing on defense and offense. So, and it starts off 0-0. So, I think it'll have minimal impact on this game. I would hope we don't turn the ball over 6 times and not get the ball anytime. So, I don't think we've had many games where we've had a turnover margin that was that huge, but our discrepancy that was that huge. But I think we'll be fine. Thank you.
Anything else? Thanks.
Thank you.